Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about our paper C-SharK, which stands for CFish with shading-friendly keys. And this is a joint work with Karim Bagheri, Daniel Kozo, and Robbie Pedersen. And you can find the full paper here from this. This presentation will be divided in 4 main sections, and first I will start by some introduction, then I will talk about CFish signature and the protocols beside that, based on that, and then I will move to our construction C-SharK signature, and we'll talk about the revisited protocols, threshold protocols, which we will see in CFish. And then I will talk about some optimization which we have done in this paper, and talk about the efficiency of our protocol. Let's start by introduction. Okay, we are in the hard homogeneous space, and which says that a set E equates with a group action by a group G. Basically, we have this star means group action, and we have a group acted on a set, an element from a group acted on an element from a set E, and goes to another element in the same set. And this is the operation. And if we instantiate this group with a cyclic group of order n, then we can define this bracket notation that you can see here. A acted on E is equal to G to the power of A and star E. We have vectorization problem here, which says that given AE, it is difficult to find A. This is analogous to discrete log in the discrete log setting. And HSS is symmetric around A0, which means we have twists. If we have AE0, then we can compute minus AE0 easily. And there are a few other things that we have to know to follow this presentation. One is, we are in the C-side setting. C-side is a key exchange, analogous to Diffie-Hellman. And in this case, Alice and Bob want to exchange the key. Alice has her secret A, and she applies her secret on curve E and gets EA, and Bob does the same with his secret, and then Alice sends this EA to Bob. And Bob then can apply his secret on Alice on the new curve of EA, and then the result would be B plus A E, or A plus B E. And this means that both parties, Alice and Bob, now they have the same key. By now, you may notice that here, computing A plus B acted on E is difficult from this EA and EB. This is difficult to compute it, which means that basically we do not have homomorphism in isogeny. In discrete log setting, when we have G to the power of x1, and one party has, for example, the secret x1, and the other one has the secret x2, if they multiply this G to the power of x1 and G to the power of x2, they can achieve to G to the power of x1 plus x2. But here it is not possible, and we do not have such operation. About preliminaries, I should explain about ID protocol that we will talk about it more in other slides. ID protocol is a an interactive cryptographic protocol, which we have prover and verifier. Prover has a secret witness and a public statement, and verifier just has this statement. ID protocol is that prover wants to prove her identity to verifier. So what she does, she sends a commit, gets back a challenge from verifier, and responds with R to verifier. And the security requirement of this ID protocol is correctness, which says that honest prover always convinces the honest verifier. Honest prover always convinces the honest verifier. And the second security requirement is a spatial soundness, which says that given two acceptable tuple of A, C, R, and A, C prime, R prime, we can extract the witness W. And the third requirement is honest verifier zero knowledge, which says that the honest verifier only can learn if X and W are in the relation RL. And there is a technique in QROM, I mean random oracle model or quantum random oracle model, which says that using fiat Sashimi, we can turn any interactive public coin honest verifier zero knowledge protocols to a non-interactive zero knowledge ID protocol by using for the same relation. How it is done? It's that instead of getting C from the verifier, they are computing C with an oracle, which is instantiated by hash, and they are getting the hash of X and A, concatenate of X and A, instead of S. So prover knows this, and then she can send A and R just in one go. So it is non-interactive. Based on that, we can even build a secure signature scheme as well, just by adding a message here into the C, hash of, C. Okay, let's move to CSI-FiSh signature. First, I will say a high-level idea, and then I will go through them. In isogeny-based cryptography, we have two main branches of CIDH or CSI, SIDH or CSIDH. SIDH was broken by Water and Thomas last year by a key recovery attack, but still there is CSIDH branch alive. And CSI-FiSh is based on a C-side, CSIDH or C-side. And there are few threshold protocols, like a passive threshold protocol given by Defoe Meyer in 2020, and active threshold protocol of Sashimi, and this robust active DKG protocol of Sirashi, which all given by our colleagues in Leuven, COSIC. Okay, the ID protocol, the basic ID protocol of CSI-FiSh is based on GAPE, group action inverse problem. Basically, in this ID protocol, prover wants to prove that she knows a secret A between two curves of E0 and E1. So what she does, she sends, she picks a random B, and then commits to that, to B, and then gets a challenge, which this challenge is binary, 0 or 1, from the verifier, and then opens a B minus DA in mode N. And then verifier will check with this equation and returns 1 or 0. accepts or rejects. By this one, the soundness rate is 1/2. So in order to get the security of 1/2 to the power of 128 bit security, then they need to repeat this protocol lambda times. Lambda is the security parameter. So what they did, then the question is that, can we get better soundness rate in each execution? And the answer is yes, by using multi-target gape. What they did is that they basically they increased the size of the public key with k. They extended the public key to the size of k. Now prover wants to prove that I know A between any two curves that you challenge me as a verifier. So what does it mean? She again picks a random B, commits to that, gets a challenge, but this time challenge is from 0 to k minus 1, and then answers and opens the B minus AD, any of those curves that he challenges, and then verifier checks it. So it means that here you can see we have k different keys to do that. But with this work, with this technique, they increase the soundness error rate to 1/k to the power of t. This t is less than lambda. Basically, yeah, this t is less than lambda, because they need to repeat it less than previous ID protocol, basic ID protocol that I mentioned. And in the first slide, I said that in the symmetric case, we can also compute the negative of any of them. So with this technique, without any cost, they can even achieve more in soundness error rate by having twists, by using twists. We are using the same technique. I mean, we have twists as well in C-SharK. Okay, the signature I mentioned, that one was the ID protocol. I mentioned that how we can build the signature based on that. It is completely straightforward. We have a key generation here. We pick random secrets, AIs, and then we compute the public key EIs with this equation, with this computation. And then we return SK as A1 till AK minus 1, and PK, public key, is the curves computed with this equation. Now, signature is, I will not follow all the steps, just I wanted to mention that, yeah, the signer, again, you see that samples B and commits to this B, and the commit is this one, and C is the hash of, I mentioned, we insert M to get a signature, and here is the message you can see. And then she follows the protocol and opens this in one go. I mean, as a signature, it is non-interactive, and this is signature. And she returns message and signature to verifier, and verifier can easily check it if the signature is valid or not. Here you can see in, okay. The other part is that when we want to look at the threshold signatures, in the threshold signatures version, we don't have verification. We do not distribute verification because anyone who has the verification key can verify easily. So we just distribute keygen and signature and signing protocol, keygen and signing protocol. And to distribute that, here you can see these two. And these are the group actions will be done here, and these are the other group actions will be done in signing. We will have problems in these operations. Later we will see why. Okay, what is threshold signature? Threshold signature consists of two sub-protocol of distributed keygen and distributed signing. Distributed keygen is divided in two main parts of verifiable secret sharing and public key computation. What is happening in verifiable secret sharing is that we have a secret SK, and using some secret sharing techniques, like, for example, Shahla secret sharing. For example, here I am talking about Shahla secret sharing. We are sharing this secret among the parties, and these are the shares of each parties. And then what is going on in the public key computation is that parties will compute the public key or the verification key based on the secrets that they have, using round robin, or round robin technique, in a round robin way. What is this round robin? As I mentioned, for example, when we have two parties, imagine that this secret A is divided, given to both parties, and party A has AR, and party B has AB, and they want to compute the public key jointly. But as I mentioned, we do not have homomorphism. We do not have such operation that we can do this operation jointly. So the solution is a round robin. The round robin is kind of the key exchange that in the key exchange we are using round robin, but between two parties. This is a similar way. Basically, each party updates a curve with her secret and gives to the next party. Next party updates a new curve with her secret and gives to the other party. This is a round robin way. And we have distributed signing. As I mentioned here, imagine we distributed the secret key among parties using Shahla secret sharing. So here in distributed signing, imagine the polynomial that we were using there was T with degree 2. So here, from 5 parties, we need 3 parties to come together to reconstruct this secret key and then sign the message. And now we have a signature. So then for verification, anyone who has this verification key can verify this signature. Based on CSI-FiSh, there are a lot of protocols, but among them were threshold ones, which are more interesting for interest. We were more interested on them. We have this distributed keygen, which is, we have distributed keygen and threshold signatures based on that. And the first threshold signature is passive secure, given by Defoe-Meyer in 2020, as I mentioned. It is passive secure, it is Shahla secret sharing, and it is efficient since it is passive. The second threshold signature is the Sashimi, which is active secure, but it's in the paper it says that it is replicated secret sharing, but we show that it is full threshold secure, actually, not threshold secure. And then it is inefficient because for when 2 parties are going to sign a message, they need almost 5 minutes to sign a message. And the distributed keygen, which is called Sirashi, is a robust distributed keygen, and it is actively secure, and it is for generating just one public key. It is inefficient since Since for computing just one public key of this, with n parties, it takes 4.5 plus 18 n seconds. So it increases by increasing the number of parties. Let's see to the efficiency of these protocols based on CFish. Meyer, I will not talk about their construction. I will just give a high-level efficiency of them. The keygen of this paper is done with trusted third party, and I mentioned it is passive secure. And they need to do K-1 channel secret sharing. They need to do K-1 group actions to compute public key, and they need this amount of communication between between parties. And yeah, for threshold signature, a party L needs this amount of group action to compute just this one for in a round-robin way. They need this amount of group actions. The other one is Sashimi. Sashimi has the same, kind of the same things. Again, they needed to do K-1 replicated secret sharing, K-1 group action to compute, and they need to, they added zero knowledge proof because they wanted to achieve active security. So they have K-1 non-interactive zero knowledge, and they have K-1 gates group action to compute public key, and so on. And yeah, and so on. And for signature, the same. You can see everywhere, you can see we have a K, we need to do K group actions since the public key size is K. And for distributed keygen of Sirachi, again, we have the same things. I mean, we have K-1 verifiable secret sharing, K-1 group action to commit, K-1 group action to compute public key, K-1 zero knowledge proofs, and so on. So in practice, basically, K and T are these numbers. And you can see that the keygen is very slow. Keygen is at least 400 times slower than signature, and even it can be worse. So the keygen is very slow compared to the signing, distributed signing. Yeah, that was the key idea behind our work. This bottleneck, actually. Now, let's move to the C-SharK signature about our result. Up to here, I explained. And then here, we showed that the public key of CFish is extended by K. We need to do this group action K times. Then we observed that the DKG is slower than signing. And then there is another paper which is called, which they are introducing structured public key. This is a paper which is done with my co-authors. And they introduced this structured public key, which says that instead of having K different secret keys, we can have just one secret key and the factors of that secret key. And this CI is public, and it should be chosen from the exceptional set. Then the key idea was that, okay, can we use this structured public key in CFish? And it resulted in C-SharK. CFish with sharing-friendly keys. Why sharing-friendly keys? I will explain later. It is as efficient as CFish, and it has just a single secret key. Then What we did in C-SharK, first we showed that this Sashimi is not threshold signature, it is full threshold signature. And this one was one of our contribution. And then we revisited the threshold signatures and distributed keygen here again with the new construction of C-SharK. And we achieved passive threshold signature, active full threshold signature, and a structured syrupy. Yeah. In the structured public key, I explained what is structured public key. The structured public key, just we compute all the public keys with a factor of A, and then they are lying, just the only problem here is that in this case we are using a new assumption which is up to now it is secure. It is shown that it is secure, and they proved in their paper. Yeah. Here for ID protocol of C-SharK, I will say that prover picks a random P, commits to that, gets a challenge D from this set, and answers with R. But here, this one was for C-FiSh, but here the prover just answers with DA mod N. Why? Because here you can see we have one secret and the factors of that secret. In this paper that I mentioned, actually their aim was to get a new ID protocol, and they wanted to achieve more. Because in C-FiSh, they can extract the differences between two curves, but they wanted to basically extract the witness. But here in our protocol in C-SharK, for soundness, we are, for spatial soundness, basically we are using the same multi-target gap as assumption that they had, but for zero knowledge, we are relying on this assumption, on the new assumption that they have. And yes, that one was for C-FiSh, but here we are basically proving that this soundness rate is the same as that one, because basically we are still here, we are saying that I know a secret between two curves that you challenged me. You are challenged me. The soundness rate is 1/k, and we need to repeat it T times. And the signature of C-SharK, just I highlighted, I mean, you can see that these parts, we just changed these parts from C-FiSh and get to the signature of C-SharK. Here, we just changed this one in keygen because we have just one secret key. And here for opening, we have this, for opening, we have these things. And verification is the same. Why it is sharing-friendly keys? Because it shows its performance in the threshold version of the signatures or key in distributed keygens. Because we have one single secret key, so we need just to do secret sharing once. We have a single secret sharing, so we decrease the communication a lot, and we need less zero-knowledge proofs. And again, then we do not have K-1 communication, because when you are sharing the secrets, you need to send to the parties, and then they need to communicate to each other. But here, since we have just one single secret, then it is very less communication here. And in the structured public key in C#, we will see that we are using the extended, a large zero-knowledge proof instead of having two. Let me explain some other way. In CFish, we have commit, and here we have zero-knowledge proof. And then we say that, okay, I am updating this curve with a secret that I committed here. And again, for the second part of the public key, we do the same. We say, I am updating the second part of the public key with the secret that I committed here, again and again. But in C#, we say that I am updating my keys with, here you can see my keys with, for example, B1, 2B1, 3B1, and so on. I am saying that I am updating with the factor of my, all the public key with the factor of my secrets with a single secret that I committed there, single commit that I gave it above. So which means that instead of having k different zero-knowledge proof, k-1 different zero-knowledge proofs, we have a long zero-knowledge proof here. And it makes it to have a practical signature, having the practical truthful signature. Okay, here are the protocols that we talked, which were based on CFish, and you can see the differences of them and the performance of them with the C#-based version of them. Here you can see, for example, we had k-1 Shamir secret sharing. Any of them, anywhere that we have k-1 here, you can see we have just one of them. Just except public key computation. Just in public key computation, we still have k-1 computation group action because we need to compute k-1 group actions because the public key size is k. So we need this computation. And okay, let's move to the performance of our construction. In total, I said that wherever you saw this k, we decreased it. For verifiable secret sharing, we needed to run k times in CFish-based, but here we need to run it one time. We needed to give k zero-knowledge proof here, but here in verifiable secret sharing, we need just to give one time zero-knowledge proof. And just the only problem is, this using the new assumption, which is proposed in previous papers that I mentioned. And here we have a long proof, which is more efficient than this one, giving k zero-knowledge proof here. And we have some optimizations using multi-core CPUs, parallel round robins, and subdividing a long zero-knowledge proof, which I will go through them one by one. For first one, when in a multi-core CPUs, instead of, because we are doing different things, I mean, we are computing different things, so we can assign them to the different core. And we know that our laptops even has more core and then CPUs, and then we can use multi-core and give them, and then we do not need to assign all of them to one core. So by that, here you can see that in CFish, they needed, this technique also applies on CFish as well, and we showed here. In CFish, they needed, in order to achieve a smaller signing and verification time and even size, they needed to increase the public key a lot. They needed to increase it a lot. But here we show that with the a smaller public key, we can achieve a better time, signing time and verification time. And yeah, this shows that it is possible nowadays in practice to use these threshold signatures, isogeny threshold signatures. And then we have parallel round robin. In parallel round robin, we say that, I mentioned that we need to do round robins. We need to update. So one way is that party one updates all the keys with his secret and then send to the second party. And so it means that all the parties should wait for one party and then get it and then update and again give to the next party. But we said that with parallel round robin, it is possible that, for example, first party starts by the first part of the public key, and then the other parties can start with the other part of public keys. Because the only thing is matter here is that we should update the curve once with our secret. Each part of the public key once with our secret. It doesn't matter where we are updating, in which time we are updating. So, for example, party one can start from this one, party two can start from the second part, and then give to the others. And this also gave a good result. Then the third optimization was that we are basically chomping a long zero-knowledge proof. As I mentioned, we had a long zero-knowledge proof, and instead of having 2, K zero-knowledge proof, we have one zero-knowledge but long. We noticed that if we have very long zero-knowledge proof, then it might be inefficient. So we found a way that, okay, in some parts we should chomp this zero-knowledge proof, and then by chomping it into different zero-knowledge proof, basically, the best point, the best optimal point that we can chomp it is square K. We can chomp it, yeah. And then we can get better result. Okay, here you can see the tables from full threshold based on CFish and Sashimi secret sharing based on CFish and C-SharK. The first one is in both thresholds by using multi-core CPUs. You can see here the differences. For example, for 3 parties with 1 core, we have this one, but for 3 parties with 16 cores, we aim better. Here we need 4.5 hours, but here we need in 18 minutes we can achieve this amount of public key. And the second one is communication between parties. Here you can see that, for example, for this one, we need to 34 megabytes, but here with C-SharK, with this optimization, we can achieve just half megabyte of this secret, communication for secret key. And then for signing protocol, we have the same efficiency. However, using our optimization with this multi-core CPUs, 3 parties can sign it in 28 seconds for the same setting. And with C-SharK, we can do it in 4 minutes, just 7 times slower than it. Here you can see the differences, which we are 7 times slower than previous, CSI-FiSh-based ones. The other one is, we have similar improvements in the DKG protocols. Sirashi, I said that we gave structured Sirashi, and then we have the better results. And just for generating 1 kilobyte public key, Basically, for 1 kilobyte public key, it takes about 65 seconds with C-SharK to achieve this amount of public key. Okay, our optimization and result shows that it is possible, it is practical, and we can use them. And for more details, you can check our paper. Thank you.